And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. It is March 18th, 2026. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement. It's the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio, so let's start it now. WBC Championship. Venezuela beats the United States by a score of 3-2. A nail-biting game for the most part. Venezuela had great pitching. They made one mistake, and that mistake was hammered by Bryce Harper to tie the game at 2 going into the ninth inning. But then Eugenio Suarez gets a big double, a drive in the go-ahead run, and the United States does not score in the bottom of the ninth, and they win. Venezuela does the WBC tournament by a 3-2 score. So there's a lot of things to unpack about this. First of all, I've seen a lot of things on social media. This is the real World Championship. Because when they say the World Series, it's not the World Series. It's not players from around the globe. It's just our country. Stop. The Venezuelan team, most everybody on that team, plays in the major leagues. So the major leagues, which plays in the United States and one team in Canada, is comprised of the best players around the world. So don't tell me that a single elimination tournament, at least in the championship round, is more indicative of the best team in the world than the team that wins the World Series. Not buying it. Because a lot of those teams that win World Series have a lot of these players on it. So now you're just collecting these players on the specific country of their origin. So please don't tell me this is the real world champion. The World Series isn't. Name the players on the Venezuelan team that do not play in the major leagues. People just want a narrative, and then people go, I think that, the WBC has surpassed Major League Baseball. Stop being foolish, okay? Whenever you have a single elimination or one game takes all, you're going to have unbelievable energy and passion. You just are. Now, is last night's game more exciting than a random game in June between the Padres and the Braves? Of course it is. Is last night's game more intense and more passionate than Game 7 of the World Series last year? It might be for the people from Venezuela. But for the entire baseball populace, Game 7 of the World Series between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays means more, is more intense, and has more on the line. Now, I can't tell people what to feel about a game. That's not on me. It's not fair for me to do that. I don't know what this means to the Venezuelan people. Watching the postgame show on Fox, I could see what it meant to the players on Team Venezuela. Weeping, crying. It meant the world to them. And if that's what it means to them, I'm not going to say they're wrong. Who am I to say they're wrong? And you can also see how affected the USA players were. I mean, they were going to throw up when they were handed that silver medal. They wanted to win. They wanted to win. But Venezuela won. Now, in terms of people saying, well, these games are more important. Yeah, really? The game was played in Miami. And the crowd was about 70% in favor of Venezuela. I guess it means something to the people of Venezuela. You can't tell me it means all that much to the people of the United States, because on a ballpark that's resting in the United States of America, Venezuelan fans outweighed American fans. Now, maybe those people were Americans with Venezuelan background. Again, I didn't take a census out there, but I will tell you this, I don't think it's resonating for Americans the way it is for the countries that play in this tournament. Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Japan. I get all of that. And I'm not here to be critical of how you feel about an event. If you think this is bigger than the World Series, okay, that's your opinion. My opinion is the World Series is much bigger than this. And I loved what Derek Jeter said yesterday on the pregame show on Fox. He said, anybody who thinks that this is bigger than the World Series has never played in the World Series. Now, you could pick apart that statement because a lot of the players on the Dominican Republic, a lot of players on the Venezuelan team, they have played in the World Series, and they think this is more important. But I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a player on the USA team that thinks this is more important than the World Series. The World Series, you play 6 months to get into a tournament, and then you play 4 series or 3 series to get into the World Series, just as the 4th series. So me, where I'm from, the World Series is much bigger than the WBC. Much bigger. Now, is the WBC a success? It's a huge success. And you want to know why? Because sitting at home last night with my son, watching every pitch of a game on March 17th, and actually being nervous about the outcome, we don't get that in March, ever. So although I don't agree with the placement of the WBC, it's a huge success. I think the placement would be better sometime around the All-Star game, carve out 2 weeks, and let it rip. And everybody's going to be stretched out. Pitchers are going to be able to go as long as they have to go. But bigger than the World Series, not for me. Maybe many within the sound of my voice will call it, and it is for me. Okay, I can't say you're wrong. That's what this is all about. That is what this is all about. What does it mean to you? It always meant a lot to people. Do you know the United States Dominican Republic game drew almost 8 million people across all of Fox's platforms for a game in March? It's amazing. So is this a success? Yes. Does it continue? Of course it does. It's spreading the gospel of baseball. It's important in other countries. It sells hats and jerseys and things like that. So of course it's going to remain, and it's only going to get bigger and better. Going to be interesting to see how the Olympics impacts this, because the Olympics are going to be in 2028. Will Major League Baseball allow their players to leave their teams to go play in the Olympics? And you're going to have quite a thing on your hands, which is what Gary Bettman had to deal with in the NHL. If you say no, a lot of these players from these foreign countries are going to say, we're going. Now, that would be quite the gutsy move because you'd be putting your contract in peril. But these players want to play in international competition. So it would behoove Major League Baseball to have that carve out, just like the NHL does, and hold up the season until the Olympics are over. We'll see if that happens. Now, in terms of the absolute game, here's what I don't get. So you've got a tie game in the 9th inning, and you bring in Garrett Whitlock, United States. Now, Garrett Whitlock has pitched very, very well. So you're not bringing in some hack. Bring in a really good pitcher for the Red Sox. And he's pitched well in the WBC. But you have Mason Miller, right? Of the Padres, available to pitch. Now, once you go to the 9th inning, right? You're never going to have a save situation if you're the home team. Ever. So once Bryce Harper hit that home run, you're telling me, because Mark DeRosa after the game said, I'm honoring what the Padres wanted. I wasn't going to bring him in into a tie game. I would only have brought him in a save situation. Well, let's break that down for the inanity of the comment. I didn't say insanity, the inanity, okay? So you're telling me that once the ball cleared center field by Bryce Harper, and then Judge strikes out to end the inning, and it's 2-2 game, that's it in the WBC for Mason Miller. He'll never get in because a home team does not have a save situation after 8 innings. So the only way that Mason Miller could have ever pitched yesterday, a kid that throws 103 miles an hour, who got the final out against the Dominican Republic, the only way he was going to get in was if the Yankees, not the Yankees, that the United States led after 8. So once they went into the ninth inning tied, he could have packed up and gone back to spring training. These teams that demand that their players only be used in a safe situation, and the Cubs did this with Valencia, right, who ended up closing the game. The only way you can use them is a safe situation. What difference does it make? If they hold them to 1 inning, what difference does it make when you use them? I don't get it. So if Mark DeRosa wanted to use him in a tie game in the 9th inning, what, the Padres would have pulled their hair out? They said you could use him in a safe situation. Well, that situation is not going to exist when you're tied after 8 innings. So how dumb is that? And this, by the way, is another reason, and you could fight me on this all you want. Oh, the WBC is more important than anything. Really? Tarek Skubal was not able to pitch yesterday. You look at the great starters in Major League Baseball that did not participate in the WBC. And then the handcuffs that were put on Mark DeRosa to win a championship game. So what's more important, everybody, the WBC or the 162-game season? What's more important? Fight me on that. You can only use Mason Miller in a safe situation. Well, how about just 1 inning? How about if I want to use him in the 8th inning? It's still just 1 inning. So what the Padres are telling you, if I can figure this out correctly, you could blow out his arm possibly, but only in a safe situation. How moronic is that? How dense is that? I don't get it. I absolutely don't understand it. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. Somebody out there, make it make sense to me. You're going to dictate when I could use the guy. You should dictate whether or not the guy is usable. If he's usable, I'm going to use him when I damn want to. So the Cubs and the Padres essentially are telling the managers of the respective teams, we'll risk having his arm blown out, but only in a safe situation. How dumb is that? So when you tell me the WBC is more important than anything, well, it can't be. You don't have the best players playing. You don't have all of the best players playing. You don't. Tarek Skubal was only able to start that 1 game. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He's got a lot riding. But if it was bigger than the World Series and bigger than his contract and bigger than the Tigers, you know what? He would have said, I'm playing. But he didn't. And if it was bigger than everything, then Mason Miller would have called up A.J. Preller and said, I'm playing. I'm pitching. Instead, we get Garrett Whitlock, who's good, but he's not Mason Miller good, trying to close it out, and he gives up that RBI double to Eugenio Suarez. Come on, man. Make it make sense. In no way, shape, or form am I denigrating the WBC. I like it way more than I ever thought I would. I'm into it way more than I ever thought I would. Way more. But stop the nonsense that it's better than anything Major League Baseball puts. These are all Major League Baseball players. And you're not playing a game where the best are going in the biggest moments. The Yankees wouldn't let them use Bednar yesterday because it would have been the 3rd time he pitched in 5 days. If it was game, let me ask you this, everybody. Get closer to the speaker. If it was Game 7 of the World Series and Bednar had pitched in 2 of the last 4 days, would the Yankees have used him? Of course they would have. But in an exhibition, glorified and a beautiful exhibition, they said, nah, don't use him. We're good. Now, everybody wants to make Mark DeRosa out to be Stooge of the Year. And it shows you the world that we live in right now. It's amazing, the world we live in. Because when he won the first couple of games of the WBC, people were writing and commenting and pontificating, why doesn't Mark DeRosa have a job? Why isn't he a major league manager? Then he made the boneheaded quote that he thought he had the advancement of the United States team in the bag. He didn't. And then he doesn't back off on that and said, he knew they had it in the bag, but he still ran out the B team. Very good team, but he ran out the B team rather than the A team. But now he can't get out of his own way. Now you're either on top of the mountain or you're in the sewer. Right now he's in the sewer. So you're going to criticize Mark DeRosa, whose hands are tied yesterday. I thought Nolan McLean pitched very well, and he has a bright, bright future. He's got dynamic stuff. Gave up the 2 runs in 4 innings. Didn't get crushed. He looked great at times. But in a perfect world, is that who Mark DeRosa is actually going to start in the championship game? A kid with 8 games of major league experience? No. In a perfect world, is Mark DeRosa using Mason Miller in that inning? Of course he is. Is he using David Bednar earlier? Of course he is. So you're going to criticize Mark DeRosa, and you could criticize him all. Well, he didn't play Gunnar Henderson. You got Alex Bregman on your team. I thought it was gutsy for him to play Henderson in the game against the Dominican instead of Bregman. Oh, he didn't start Pete Crow Armstrong. He started Buxton. Yeah, Buxton's a pretty darn good player. When you have superstars up and down the bench, somebody's going to get ticked off. Now, the one thing you could scratch your head at, for the last 2 games of this tournament, he sat down a guy who hit 60 home runs last year. Now, I know that Cal Raleigh had a really bad WBC, didn't get a hit. You benched a guy who hit 60 home runs. You think that Cal Raleigh feels good about the WBC? He took all that time away from his team, getting prepared for the upcoming season, and he didn't even play in the championship game? Didn't even come up the bench, didn't even pinch hit? But you're going to be hard-pressed to have me sit here and tell you what a terrible, terrible manager Mark DeRosa is. Let's see him play with a full hand. Don't tell me a guy's good at poker if you're playing with 48 cards in the deck and not 52. He's managing with his hands tied behind his back. All of the managers in the WBC are. Because of the fact that Major League Baseball, the games are more important than the regular season. Because they're getting paid for those, and they're trying to get into the playoffs. These are, whether you want to admit it or not, and it's, again, highly entertaining. These are exhibition games. And for some, these exhibition games mean more. And once again, we'll go back to how the Venezuelan players looked after the game. Weeping. Wrapping themselves in their flag. So it means an awful lot to them. But for the people that run Major League Baseball, and they run the WBC, by the way, the people that pay players outrageous salaries to play this 162-game, 6-month season, the games that count. Because if it was the be-all, end-all, and everything was on the line, and this was the true World Series, Mason Miller would have pitched in that game in the 9th inning. And I don't blame Mark DeRosa. If the Padres said you can only use him in a save situation, not a tie game, once the game hits the 9th inning tied, he's never going to use him. I question the Padres, though. Are you kidding me? So I can only use him in a save situation, but I can't use him in a tie game. How? How does that make sense? Now, the elephant in the room, and we're going to talk about it, because I know that that's the big conversation piece today, is that Aaron Judge had a terrible game. And how Aaron Judge never comes through in the clutch. And since we're always honest with you here, he had a terrible game yesterday. He was 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Wasn't good. But again, get closer to the speaker. Who on the USA team had a good game? Kyle Schwarber didn't. The only one that had anything resembling a big hit was Bryce Harper. We can go up and down that all-star laden Hall of Fame to be lineup, and they all crap the bed. Every single one of them, except for Harper. But the one guy who's going to get villainized and scrutinized and criticized, the one guy that everybody decides, I'm going to pile on this guy, is Aaron Judge, who, if you look at his numbers in the WBC, probably had as good a WBC as anybody that played on Team USA. Defensively, big hits, the whole deal. Did he have a bad game yesterday? He had an awful game. Again, so did Schwarber. So did Bregman. So did Witt. So did Buxton. So did Roman Anthony. So did Will Smith. One guy got it done yesterday, Bryce Harper. One guy. But the one guy that everybody is going to accentuate because he had a bad game was Aaron Judge, which is going to further perpetuate the narrative that he can't come through in the clutch. I got numbers to throw at you, baby. I'll do that in just a moment because I'm not going to let this just live. Because the numbers I'm going to give you are going to show you that you're wrong. You're wrong. You can't tell me he's not a good clutch player. I'll give you numbers that prove it. The numbers don't lie. You might lie, and you might be selective in picking out the times that he hasn't come through. But I'll give you numbers that show that you're wrong. And I don't have to sit here and defend Aaron Judge. And I know that the criticism is going to be, well, you're the Yankee announcer. You have to criticize. You can't criticize him. I criticize people all the time. I've criticized things the Yankees have done for 25 years on the air here. Because I'm honest with you. And I'm honest with myself. And if I don't criticize people when they're supposed to be criticized, then how could you take any of the flowers that I throw at people seriously? So buckle up, people. I'm going to throw numbers in your face that are going to throw your narrative right back at you. Now, as we're speaking, the Yankees are playing the Red Sox at George M. Steinbrenner Field, and it is an important spring training game because Garrett Cole pitched the first inning. And it was a bunt single and a stolen base. The leadoff batter bunted on, a drag bunt, a stolen base, and then a base hit. He gave up 1 run in 1 inning. But that's the first step for him getting back sometime at the end of May or the beginning of June. His rehab has gone quite well from everybody I spoke to when I was down in Tampa. Hey, ESPN New York is taking over Calandra's Italian Village in Caldwell, New Jersey. Join Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live starting at 3 p.m. with a special happy hour that you don't want to miss. Come hang out, talk sports, and get ready for a huge night on the ice. Then stick around for the Rangers and Devils watch party with a 7 p.m. puck drop. Big screens, great food, unbeatable atmosphere, and the best fans in hockey, all under one roof. Reservations are recommended, so to book your table, call 973-226-8889. See Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live at Calandra's Italian Village on Caldwell, New Jersey, starting at 3 p.m. today. So much more to do. We'll give you those stats on Judge, and also want to take your phone call. So congratulations to Team Venezuela, a thrilling 3-2 victory over the United States to win the WBC. 1-800-919-3776, the K-Show rolling till 3 right here on ESPN New York.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This month, you'll be feeling March magic when you win your share of $50,000 cash during our Rainbow Riches drawing. Be here every Wednesday in March from 2 to 7 p.m. Each hour, one lucky guest is drawn to win up to $5,000 cash. Earn entry starting at 12:30 p.m. Come chase the rainbow every Wednesday in March, where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS Cars for kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today. 1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS4KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now or call 877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to cars4kids.org. That's cars with a K.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips, and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
Attention New York Verizon mobile customers. Score a massive win with award-winning Fios Home Internet for an incredible $20 a month guaranteed for 3 years. Switch today for savings you can count on. Call 1-800-VERIZON now. For new Fios customers with AutoPay, mobile and home discount enrollment required. 3-year price guarantee applies to the Fios-based monthly rate only. Additional terms apply.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you can put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
If you run a home service business, you're probably wondering if your current software is ready to handle that next phase of growth. You're working hard to bring in more revenue, stay on top of marketing, payroll, projects, and more, all while keeping your customers happy. But your software isn't cutting it. If that's the case, it's time to upgrade to Service Titan, the all-in-one solution that scales with you. Find out how the most successful home service contractors are growing today. Visit ServiceTitan.com to learn more. That's ServiceTitan.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
All right, so a couple of things that we need to clear up right now. When you look at the fact that people keep saying, well, Aaron Judge came out and said that the WBC is more important than the World Series. He never said that. He said that the crowds are bigger and better and louder. Doesn't mean that he thinks this is more important than the WBC, than the World Series. Never said that. Again, people are creating false narratives. They just are. Now, one of my big fears of this exhibition series is people getting hurt. And as we speak, Seiya Suzuki of the Cubs, who's going to play a huge role in replacing the loss of Kyle Tucker in free agency and had a really good year last year, undergoing an MRI on his knee which he injured playing for Japan in the WBC. That's your biggest fear. The Yankees lost a season because Mark Teixeira tore his wrist sheath playing in the WBC. The Mets lost a season because Edwin Diaz tore his knee up celebrating a victory in the WBC. Buck Showalter might have lost his career, might not ever get another job as a manager because of that injury in the WBC. So please, don't say that it's without ramifications, and don't anybody dare criticize Tarek Skubal and the Tigers for not wanting him to pitch. Because these guys could say all the right things. They could say all the right things, but when it comes down to brass tacks, real life is going to win out. Real life is the big leagues where you're getting paid by a team and you have to win a World Series. That's your job. And when you're going to you're an impending free agent. That's the job. That's the job when it comes down to what Major League Baseball players are paid for. They're not paid for this. Now, the people that won, I think, on the Venezuelan team, I think they got $100,000, which is a nice payday for a couple of weeks. But it ain't $40, $50 million a year. Now let's get to Judge. Everybody wants to say, well, Judge can't come through in the big moments. Well, then let me throw stats at you. Since 2017, when it came up, I'm going to give credit to a guy on X who's under the heading of Yankee Stats. It's Chris Coop, all right? Judge in the seventh inning or extra innings, 7 through extra innings in one-run or tie games, right, with runners in scoring position. 7th inning or extras in one-run or tie games when there are men and runners in scoring position. He hits .344 with a .578 slugging percentage. Now let's go on to Judge in the 7th inning or extras in one-run, two-run, or tied games with runners in scoring position. .343 average, .582 slugging. Got all that? Playoff, weighted runs created plus, which is an important stat. In the history of baseball, Judge is 21st with a 125 weighted runs created plus. Higher than Acuna, Bregman, Lindor, Betts, Tucker, Yelich, Will Smith, Turner. High leverage, weighted runs created plus. Since 2017, Judge is 5th in the major leagues with a 143 weighted runs created plus. Since 2017, this is from another site that's just under the heading of Yankee Stats. Since 2017, no one has had more tying or go-ahead home runs in the 8th inning or later. No one. No one more than Judge. The most home runs of anybody in elimination games in the postseason, that's Aaron Judge. He's 30th all time in the postseason with weighted runs created plus. As I've said before, if you're otherworldly, right? And so in big moments with runners in scoring position, he's essentially a .340 hitter. Let's round it up to .350 just for argument's sake. That means that if he comes up 10 times, he's going to fail 6.5 times out of the 10. And those are the times that you're going to accentuate and say, oh, he can't come through in big moments. But the fact that he hits .343 in those situations, you're ignoring. You think this guy is going to get a hit every single time. You're out of your mind. You don't know the game. This game is a game of failure. Ted Williams hit .400 one year, and that means he made out 6 out of 10 times. And he's still considered the greatest pure hitter of all time. But you're going to accentuate every time Judge doesn't come through. Every time. I don't get it. What are you people trying to knock this guy off the mountain for? Do you know that the United States beat the Dominican Republic with 2 home runs? I think it was like the 3rd inning, the last time they had a runner in scoring position. Last night, they didn't have a runner in scoring position. But you're going to blame it all on Aaron Judge. Again, the only person that got a big hit yesterday was Bryce Harper, only guy on the USA team. But Judge is the guy that can't come through in big moments. And I'm not trying to sit here and lie to you and say he had a good game. He had an awful game. But every single player in the United States over the last 2 games had an awful game. They didn't hit for the most part unless they played the dregs of the WBC. Then they put up big numbers. I think there was too much pressure that they put on themselves. The whole stuff with, we're representing our country and this and that. And I think they grinded themselves into submission because those players are too good. They're too great to perform like that. They just are. I think they were overconfident. I think they were cocky. I think they thought they could not be beat. And then it finally rose up and bit them last night. Blame Mark DeRosa. Blame Aaron Judge. That was a team effort that they didn't win last night. One swing, one clutch swing all night by Bryce Harper. But you want to blame the right fielder. Gotcha. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to Glenn in Connecticut. Let's start it off.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Yeah, I woke up this morning disgusted, particularly in Yankee fans, because a lot of the narrative that's going on is this guy can't do it when it matters. Let's trade him. Let's move on. Let's do something else besides Judge. That's disgusting because this guy has been the cornerstone of your franchise for 10-plus years now. He's done everything. He's won 3 MVPs. He's done everything you could want from him. And if you're a Yankee fan hating on Aaron Judge, you're a fraudulent Yankee fan. And I'm so sick to my stomach seeing all the stuff that's going on right now. And I just needed to voice my opinion.
You know, let me ask you a question. Why do you think it is? I don't get it. We're watching one of the greats of all time in our lifetime, and people want to pick apart what he doesn't do well. I don't get it. What is it, Glenn?
People like to hate. I really don't get it. As a Yankee fan, I love Aaron Judge. I like watching him every day. It brings me joy watching him every day. And seeing that Yankee fans hate on him after every single thing that he's done for you, bring 3 MVPs, everything. I just don't. I don't really get it either. I think it's easy for people to hate behind their phone, and I think that's the excuse.
No, thank you for the phone call, Glenn. I made a mistake earlier in the previous segment because I'm trying to watch the game as I'm doing the show. The runner that got on with the bunt and then stole second got thrown out at third. So Cole did not give up a run in his 1 inning of work. Again, Cole did not give up a run in his 1 inning of work. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Jose in Connecticut. Jose.
Hey, Michael. Listen, respectfully, I disagree with you in a couple of things, and I love you, but you kind of annoyed me on a couple of points. I'm going to give you 2 main points, okay? Because, I didn't expect this from you, actually. Number one, Jeter and you, especially Jeter, that comment to me is stupid because Ronald Acuna Jr. said it was the pinnacle of his career last night, and he's an MVP and World Series champion. Kike Hernandez, 3-time World Series champion, said that winning for Puerto Rico would mean more to him. So you can't tell players and fans how to feel. I find this
Wait a minute. I said specifically, Jose, cannot tell people how to feel. I said that as a United States citizen, I think the World Series is more. I said specifically, so don't pin it on me. I said specifically, Jose, that those people, the people in the other countries, this means more. Good. It means more. I can't tell them how to feel. I never said that that's how they should feel. And by the way, what I say, what does it mean? Derek Jeter has won 5 World Series, also played in the WBC. He laughed at the fact that anybody would think that the WBC is more important than the World Series. But it obviously is to these players.
Okay, so respectfully, Jeter's not the voice of everybody. Anyway,
but you know what? He gets paid to give his opinion, and he gave his opinion.
Okay, but I can say it's wrong, and other players can say it's wrong. Okay, and then number 2, I just wanted to say about your point about the teams. Oh, well, the teams don't think it's more important. These teams half of these teams don't even care about the World Series. They care about making money. The Guardians don't care about winning the World Series. They care about their investment. So, of course, they would not limit their players. It's not because they think the WBC doesn't mean anything. It's because they care about their investment in ticket sales.
You think the Tigers want to win the World Series? Do you think the Tigers want to win the World Series? Do you think the Padres want to win the World Series? Do you think the Yankees want to win the World Series? They made their players unavailable.
We can do this all day, back and forth. How many more teams don't want to win? Number one.
But
number
still,
two,
but you just talked out about these. You just said it didn't mean anything. Well, these guys, people are investments. You think that teams that have $20 to $30 million invested in a player, they want them hurt in an exhibition game? Even if they don't want to win the World Series.
Stop saying exhibition because, first of all, these teams, they want to make more money and more sales. They should buy into it. That's my point.
The money they're going to make from the WBC is minuscule to what they make in the regular season. Minuscule.
Growing the game internationally is how you make money. That's how the NBA got bigger than the MLB. It's a stupid point. And
what do you mean it's stupid? If you owned a team, you would want Tarek Skubal to pick. If you own the Tigers, if you were the Illich family, I'm asking you a question. If you own the Tigers, would you want Tarek Skubal to get hurt in the WBC?
What? Like, he could get hurt pitching in the game. If I'm
doesn't matter, but the high-intensity games in March, would you want Tarek? You can scream over me all you want because I have the ultimate ability to hang up. Either we're going to have a discussion or not. Sure. If you're the Tigers, do you want Tarek Skubal pitching a high? By the way, Carlos Mendoza actually said he's holding his breath watching Nolan McLean pitch last night. Every team would hold their breath.
Again, But they're not. They're only thinking about their interest in that moment.
Of course. What else are you thinking about, Jose?
Exactly. But what my point is that the same way with soccer and the NBA, at some point they got smart and said, let's lean into this. And now it's just the game is growing internationally and getting more viewers. The MLB is now what, number 3, number 4 because of this. Like, that's my point. Like, people, if you keep talking down to the fans, this is the whole baseball culture. We know better. This is this. You don't. Like, just listen to the fans, bro. That's it. And
but you keep saying listen to the fans. Right? Jose, where were the United States fans at these games? Where were they?
When Harper hit that home run, was that not like a Game 7 moment?
It was great, but where were the fans at Lone Depot Park? There was 70% Venezuelan fans. Where were the United States fans?
But you can't compare an entire country's fans versus MLB fans. Like this is the only time a Venezuelan might even be able to come, or Puerto Ricans that might come. So of course the
games are played on United States soil. On the United States soil, and the Dominican Republic had 85% fans over the United States in the previous game, and yesterday it was a majority of fans were Venezuela. So listen, in certain countries, it's going to be more important. To the United States fans, I guess it's not, because we grew up with the World Series. We grew up with the World Series. Because somehow, some way, players that think this is bigger than the World Series, they think that they are really representing the values of their country and the worth of their country by a silly game of baseball. So because Puerto Rico got knocked out, Puerto Rico is not an unbelievable place to be? Because Japan got knocked out, it's not a great country? Because the United States lost, it's not a great country? I think these players read way too much into it. But I'm not going to tell them they're right or they're wrong. But the way people talk down about people making money, all they care about is their own interest. Yeah, that's the way the world is. You care about your own interest. What's in it for me? Somebody once said, a bright man. What's in it for me? I mean, I'm not dismissing people's opinions. He started off with a false narrative. I said, who am I to tell people how to feel? I said, I feel the World Series is much more important than the WBC. First of all, it's a best of 7, and you have to win 4 rounds to win the World Series, and you have to get through a 162-game gauntlet of a season. You're going to tell me that the WBC is more telling of who a champion is? When it's played in March? When the pitchers can't even go over 100 pitches? When the managers of teams are handcuffed because of the fact they can't use certain players? And you're going to tell me this is more important and more indicative of greatness than the World Series? I'm not buying it. Not for me. If you want to, who am I to tell you? Game Time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Yankees playing the Red Sox in spring training action right now. Nothing in the second inning. 7 p.m., the Rangers host the Devils at Madison Square Garden. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN New York. And at 7:30, the Nets host the Thunder at Barclays Center, and that is going to be on, yes. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. When we come back, more, and we have Mike Lupica today because it's Wednesday. He'll join us at 2:30. We'll get his take on this as well. The K Show rolling till 3, ESPN New York.
Become a Yankees Universe Fan Club member today. Explorer and rookie membership packages are now available. And every Yankees Universe member receives a membership card, 2 tickets to a 2026 Yankees home game, access to a members-only website, and more. Plus, rookie members receive an official New York Yankees t-shirt. And best of all, a portion of every membership supports Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, benefiting pediatric cancer research. Join Yankees Universe today. Visit Yankees.com/universe.
Think great meat has to come with a high price? Not at Wild Fork Foods. Get beef tenderloin for only $10 a pound. Yes, $10 a pound. And Atlantic salmon portions just $9.98 a pound. That's awesome quality at a great value for your table. Everything is blast frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. Shop one of their 7 locations, or you can order online for same-day delivery. WildForkFoods.com. Wild Fork Foods. Quality meat. Wild prices.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter. Adam Schefter here. It's tournament time, when only the most talented teams survive in advance. And whether you're cutting down the nets or cutting through resumes, one thing's clear. The best teams are built with the best people. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. Their smart matching technology finds qualified candidates fast. You can add screening questions to get the right applicants and even filter to see who's recently active. Score the best for your team with ZipRecruiter. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/sports. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sports.
Bundling your home and auto with Progressive could help you save without sacrificing quality. It's the smart thing to do. And as a hockey fan, you always know the smart thing to do.
Shoot the puck!
And you let the players know it.
Shoot the puck!
All game.
Shoot it! Come on, shoot!
And sometimes even after.
Man, rough game, huh? Yeah, they should have shot the puck.
So bundle your home and auto with Progressive. It's the smart thing to do. But you already knew that. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
It's DiPietro and Rothenberg's Rickleball Madness. This Friday at Pickleball Heaven in Medford, Long Island. Come out and watch them play, dominate, or be humbled.
Meet Rick DiPietro and
see his hot, sexy body and play pickleball with him. Get to play, pickleball with Rick and Dave, and it's going to be great.
The show starts at 6 a.m., followed by pickleball at 10 a.m. and a tournament watch party at noon. Come out and see the guys. Enjoy the pickleball and college hoops action. Entry is free and open to the public. Brought to you by Pickleball Heaven. We'll see you there.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Michael K. with you until 3. At that time, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Let's go back to the phone calls. Let's go to Chief in Long Island. What's up, Chief?
Hey, it's Keith. Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Keith. Yes, I hear you great.
That's all right. Yeah, I wanted to comment on, you mentioned that the countries are taking the value of the WBC to mean something for their countries, but I think that's exactly the opposite, right? It's similar to Team USA in hockey, right? The U.S. fans were excited about hockey because they for a long time not the dominant force, and now they're dominating Canada in the championships, and the U.S. fans are ecstatic. And the same thing goes for WBC. I think for these countries, it's really important for them not just to be on the world stage, but also to compete against Team USA. And so it's not that they're taking this to be the quality of their country or anything else. It's just the pride that they have, and that's why the fans are showing up and excited. And I agree with one of the last callers that says it makes it a global. It could grow the game as well too. So I think that's positive for it too.
I think it's a very positive tournament. I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but Keith, let me ask you this: the United States throughout this whole tournament wrapped this whole thing in patriotism. They brought in the guy that was part of the SEAL Team 6 that killed Osama bin Laden. They wrapped the whole thing in patriotism. They did. And I think that put pressure on them. They felt they were representing their country. And I think that adds a layer of pressure that shouldn't be in a sporting event. I've never felt like that about the Olympics either. I don't understand gold medal counts and stuff like that. Who cares? Who cares? It's important for each individual person. It's important for the players to win a championship. But, I mean, to add jingoism to it, first of all, I think that might be what's wrong with the world. We're all much too on high alert in terms of patriotism and stuff like that. I love my country. I don't have to wear it on my sleeve all the time. I would assume that most people that live in this country love the country. But because the United States lost yesterday, does that make me less in love with my country? No. If they won yesterday, would I be more in love? Would it validate something? No. And Keith, I really truly believe that a lot of people add value where there's not value there. The only uniform that's worn that has anything to do with the might of a country is a military uniform. The men and women that represent this country in the armed forces, those are the people I root for with all my soul to win. If they win or lose, that impacts this country. If the United States lost in the Olympics in hockey, oh well, 4 years more. And if the United States won yesterday, great. They lost yesterday, okay, see you in 3 years. Only the people that wear the uniforms of the armed forces are the ones that dictate the country and defend the country. You're not defending the country because you're playing in a baseball game with USA across the chest. You're not. You're not. Let's go to Mike in Plattsburgh. Mike.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Good, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for taking the call, man. This Aaron Judge stuff's bothering me, man, because I you know what I think? I think it's because he's got this big weight on his chest. He hasn't won a World Series. And once that happens, I think they're going to give him a break. But right now, all these people, in reality, they blame everything on Aaron Judge. And by the way, that last caller, I don't know if your wife's nearby, put 911 on speed dial, man. Your stress level is high. That was great.
It's funny because, my son has a half day at school today, and he was sitting here listening, and he said, are you okay, Dad? And I said, yeah, I'm okay. I mean, listen, the thing that got me fired up was not his opinion, but right away he started off with a false narrative. Who are you to tell us what to think? I don't tell you what to think. I tell you what I think. And also to say, who is Derek Jeter to tell you what he thinks? Well, he's a 5-time world champion. He's a near unanimous Hall of Famer, first ballot. He has a job on Fox where he's asked to actually give his opinion. And you know what? He gave a really strong opinion. I think the way he said it, and I'm sure that Fox wasn't in love with what he said because they're carrying it, and I'm sure that baseball wasn't in love with what he said. But he said what he felt, and he felt it was laughable that you would think that a WBC championship is bigger than a World Series. Now, you can't argue. Kike Hernandez said it is, and he's won 3 World Series. Ronald Acuna Jr., he didn't play in the World Series, by the way, but he's an MVP. His team won the World Series, and he said that this is more important. Okay, that's everybody's individual thing, but I'm not going to dismiss Derek Jeter. You could dismiss me. I didn't play in the big leagues. I don't understand, though, how somebody who played in the big leagues or is playing in the big leagues would add more import to an exhibition series than the regular season of Major League Baseball and the ultimate prize, which is the World Series. I don't get it. And I'm all for building up the WBC, and I understand what Jose in Connecticut said about it grows the game, and that's important to grow the game. That's one of the things that they're trying to do, and I think it's working. But to say that, to me again, not telling you what to think, giving you my opinion, which is why I have this show, I think it's laughable that somebody who plays in the big leagues would think that that's more important than the World Series. And if I was an owner or a GM or a manager of a team that had a player that said that, I'd have a talk with him. You don't think the World Series is more important than an exhibition series? Kind of odd. Kind of odd. Let's go to Jonas in Port Washington. Jonas. Hello, Jonas.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I got you.
All right, perfect. So I just wanted to hold on. I just wanted to tell you, I strongly, first of all, love your show. I strongly disagree with the idea that like international competition doesn't matter just because, like, so I'm a hockey player and USA hockey matters a lot. So when the U.S. beat Canada, it mattered because of the program, like how much energy has been spent into
I agree with that.
Program.
I agree with that. I don't think it matters to the health of the country. It means a lot to USA Hockey. I couldn't agree with you more, Jonas. I push back when they turn it into a flag-waving thing that, you know, that represents the greatness of our country. Nonsense. There are more important things that represent our country.
Yeah, I can totally get behind that. I think I would just say that, like, our sports, like, that is a part of our country. Like, that is a part of, like, where you get that, like, national pride of, like, I'm so excited to watch my team play and my country play. I do feel, like I said, like, I totally understand why people get so into it. I do agree with you. I think that the players were kind of prepped to be like, this is a dream come true. I grew up playing baseball. We don't really talk about representing our country the way, like, hockey and other sports are. But yeah, I just wanted to share my opinion. I really appreciate you, Michael.
Oh, you got it. Thank you, man. Well said. Well articulated. And listen, I don't tell you your feelings are wrong. They're your feelings. The opinions aren't wrong. Now, you could have bad facts, like the people that say the judge doesn't come through in the clutch. You've got bad facts. But if you think that this is bigger than the World Series, okay, I disagree. In my opinion, it's not even close. A game on March 17th is not as important as the game that we saw, Game 7, 11 innings in the World Series last year. Sorry, it's not. Not. Right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everyone's account for the tournament. All you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. Use them on your bracket picks, money lines, spreads, totals, game props, or even same-game parlays. But don't wait. These bonus bets are only available for a limited time. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to learn more. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS
Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
ESPN New York, now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
New York Knicks fans, here's a total slam dunk. For a limited time, get Verizon Fios and a line of mobile for just $64.99 a month with AutoPay. Get Fios 300 megabit per second for $20 a month. And unlimited welcome for $45 a month plus taxes and fees when you bring your own phone. Visit a Verizon store today to learn more. For new Fios internet and mobile customers, discounts applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. Additional terms apply. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips, and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes just like the best birthday cake ever. Vanilla, buttery, frosting vibes. It's basically a party in a bottle. Confetti Craze makes it easy to turn any day into a party with its delicious birthday cake flavor and big birthday energy. And here's the best part. All cake, no sugar. I bring these tiny bottles everywhere to cakeify my day with tasty caffeine boosts. The Funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Venezuela 3, United States 2. They win the WBC. Yesterday, the Knicks beat up on the Pacers. That's what you want to see in games against bad teams. And the Pacers are the worst team in the NBA. And the Knicks beat them. Josh Hart had a big game. Most points he's ever scored as a Knick, 33. Jalen Brunson was out with a stiff neck. Should be back, I think Friday would be the next time they play against the Nets. So we'll see exactly how that goes. But that's the kind of game you want to see from the Knicks. That's the kind of game. You play a bad team, you beat them up. You never have a doubt. Now, Pacers were leading after a bit, but the Knicks ended up taking over. They did not have that awful, awful stretch where you wondered, are they going to lose this game? No, for the most part, they showed up and they did what they had to do. So they are winning every one of the 7 games against the bad teams. And don't look now. They are creeping very close to second seed. And you can't even say that catching the Pistons is an impossibility. Unlikely, but certainly possible. And the Celtics are very much in their crosshairs. So all the worry, they might end up with the second seed. In all likelihood, they end up with the third. They play the Celtics one more time. But the Celtics have a harder schedule than the Knicks moving forward. So we'll see how it plays out. We've been talking a lot about the WBC. what it means. Judge didn't have a good game yesterday. Many people with loud voices and megaphones on social media, they don't think he comes through in the clutch, where I gave you numbers, actual numbers, that he's about a 345 hitter in games with runners in scoring position, either tied or a difference of 1 or 2 runs, 7th inning on. That would tell you he's clutch, but again, you're accentuating the 6.5 times that he makes out. Nobody else you accentuate that, but just him. Let's go to Phil in Brooklyn. Phil.
You know, Mike, I was rooting for USA, and I didn't go to bed devastated, upset. I was upset when the Mets lost the World Series in 2015 when they lost to the Cardinals in 06. I was devastated. And if you're devastated over the World Baseball Classic, I got nothing for you.
Well, I mean, you're probably close to my age, and we grew up where the World Series was the be-all, end-all. And it's only been 20 years of the WBC somehow, and I give Major League Baseball credit, and I give the Players Association credit. They've built it into something where it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for the players. It's a big deal for a segment of fans. Can't argue with them. If they enjoy it and it matters to them, then mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. How can I say you're wrong? You feel what you feel. I don't feel that way. Was I disappointed in the United States loss? Yep. Was I disappointed that Judge didn't get a big hit? The only reason I was disappointed is because I didn't want to hear the ridiculousness that you're hearing on social media, which I'm sure I'm going to hear on the show too. That he doesn't come through. I guess you didn't watch the postseason last year. And if you did, although he hit 600, you're going to bring up the time that he had runners on second and third and one out and didn't get a big hit against Toronto. You're not going to bring up the fact that he hit that home run that salvaged the one game that they won in the series. That you won't bring up. Let's go to Javier in Port St. Lucie.
Hey, Michael. Good afternoon. Hope all is well.
Same to you.
Thank you, sir. So I don't want to be one of those guys that, you know, is going to go against or contradict what Aaron Judge is doing. I am a diehard Yankees fan. In fact, I was excited to see that he was going to participate in the WBC. I would rephrase it to moments. I think, unfortunately, when he's had big moments to really exemplify and come through, and I know you're going to bring up last year's 600, but I'm talking about when it matters the most. So the same way you compare numbers, I'm going to compare a couple of situations that could support my case.
But that's not – I mean, I'll let you finish, Javier, but that's like cherry picking. You could do that with any player.
No, I get it, Michael. But the problem is I think that – listen, I'm going to give him his flowers. The guy is otherworldly. He really is. He's one of a kind. But he has a C on his chest for a reason. So the same way other players throughout any sports we watch, they're going to get scrutinized, unfortunately. When I look at moments, yesterday was a moment for me. And when I see 3 strikeouts and 4 plate appearances, unfortunately, it goes against his overall, in my opinion. It's like, wow, that's an unfortunate moment.
But Javier, how about the fact that nobody on the USA team other than Harper had a big hit? But you're only going to accentuate Judge. And they're all superstars.
No, I get it. But what I'm trying to say is, unfortunately, Judge is the man. So when you are like Ohtani's the man, Ohtani struck out in the WBC to solidify his greatness. He did that, and then you're right. It could go on and on and on. I just wish that Judge had moments where he prevailed more than his.
All right, so you're a Yankee fan, right? How about the home run against Clase?
That was awesome.
Okay, that was a moment. How about the 3-run home run off the pole against the Blue Jays on an inside fastball that nobody would hit, and he hit out in a game that the Yankees had to win to stay alive? Was that a moment?
Phenomenal. But however, this is the reason why I'm calling you, is because it's a moment, but is it that defining moment? And all I'm saying is Judge is otherworldly, like I said, but when is he going to have that defining moment? Like I told you about Ohtani in the WBC to close it out, the last one. When is he going to have that defining moment?
So Ohtani struck out Trout to end the WBC, right? How about Ohtani in the 7th game of the World Series, started the game and gave up a 3-run home run to Bichette? Did that erase the moment in the WBC? Baseball, Javier, baseball is a game of failure. It just is. It is. So even if you come through 4 times, which would be, another level of Cooperstown, 4 times in every clutch situation, there's going to be 6 times that you don't. 6 times you're going to make it out. So those that don't like Judge, for whatever reason, you're going to accentuate those 6 times. And there's nothing I can do for you. You're going to look at the most beautiful landscape, and you're going to find the rock that you think obscures the landscape. You're going to look at one of the great players that we'll ever see in our life, and you're going to say he doesn't come through in big moments, and I will give you big moments where he has come through. And you're not alone in this, everybody. I've got really good friends that really know baseball, and I got texts last night, you got to rip Judge tomorrow. I go, for what? Because he had a lousy game just like everybody else on Team USA. And you can say, well, he's the man. Schwarber's the man. Bobby Witt's the man. Cal Raleigh is the man. He didn't even get off the bench. Everybody in that team is the man. That's why they're on that team. It's a super-duper all-star team. And they all crapped the bed last night, except for Harper, who had not had a good WBC. And he salvaged it with that big 2-run home run that tied the game. But if you want to accentuate Judge, that's a you issue. That's a you issue. Because if Brian Cashman called up every team in baseball and said, would you be interested in Judge? Every one of them would put together the most unbelievable package to try to get him, including the Dodgers. So baseball people know exactly what they're seeing. They know exactly the greatness that's on display every day. 3 MVPs, should have had 4. He's in the same breath now MVP-wise as Berra, DiMaggio, Mantle. Pretty good company, and he should have 4. But you're gonna sing me the song that hasn't come through in big moments, and he has come through in big moments, just not every one, which, by the way, no one who has ever lived has come through in every big moment. No one. Listen, I've had this show a long time, in some iteration or not, and people just eviscerated Alex Rodriguez for how terrible he was in the postseason. Now, take the PEDs away, and one of the greatest players who ever lived. And the evisceration of him, it made sense because he wasn't coming through at all. And then it finally happened. He carried the team to the World Series in 2009. They don't win without him. And his postseason numbers with the Yankees, starting with Game 4 in 2004 until the 2009 playoffs, were abysmal. Judge's numbers are not abysmal. They're just not. They're not otherworldly. They were otherworldly last year. They did not win, or they did not go to the World Series last year because of Judge. They didn't go to the World Series because Rodon and Fried had bad games against the Blue Jays, and the Yankees never had an opportunity to face Seattle. It wasn't on Judge. If you sit here and you put the blame of a Major League Baseball team losing on one player, then I don't know that you know the game. There's so many aspects that go into a team winning or losing. The only time you could pin it on one person is in an individual sport. Golf, tennis. Blame them. Rory had not won a Masters. It's on him. Nobody else. He finally won one. That's on him as well. You can blame the individual. You can blame Ted Williams that the Red Sox never won a World Series. And by the way, in the 2 World Series he played in, didn't play well. You're going to blame Ernie Banks that the Cubs never got to the World Series. You going to blame him? Or was it, okay, they didn't have a good team. You're going to blame Don Mattingly in the 6 years where he's the best player in baseball that the Yankees didn't make the playoffs? Oh, they didn't have pitching. They had a lineup with Mattingly, Henderson, Winfield, Jack Clark. They had great teams. They didn't get a World Series. Oh, they didn't get to the playoffs until Mattingly in his last year. It wasn't on Mattingly. So put all the hate you want on Judge, and one day you're going to miss him when he's gone. You're going to miss him when he's gone. Dylan in Levittown.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Before you explain, can I just make my whole point? So first, we always get, I don't see, I know I'm 25. He's the greatest player I've ever seen live, actually watching. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest players. He's the greatest player I've ever seen. Probably we'll talk about him as a top 10, maybe top 5 Yankee of all time. He's just not a clutch postseason, big moment player. And I'm not comparing him to this player talent-wise. He's like James Harden. He's an amazing player. In the regular season, he'll do some things, amazing things. But, in the WBC, and then there's something that you said a couple of minutes ago. You said last year they didn't not go to the World Series because of Aaron Judge. But then I could say to you 2 years ago, if he played better, maybe we wouldn't have been down 3-0 against the Dodgers if he played at least average in the series. And then you're going to say in the fourth game he was better, which is not true. But he was dreadful up until that point, and then the drop in the fourth game also. So if he was at least average in 2 years ago, maybe we could have not been down 3-0.
Okay.
So sometimes.
So let me ask you this: if Boone had not brought in Nestor Cortez and brought in Tim Hill and they won Game 1, was that the reason? Was Judge the reason they lost that game?
No, but I'm saying if he
and you say he doesn't come through in the clutch, right? In the postseason, he had a .600 batting average in 2 series last year.
Yeah, but not 2 years ago when we really needed him in the World Series.
You know what? Derek Jeter made outs in the postseason too, and he has 5 World Series.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. He had a .300 batting average, so he made out 7 out of 10 times in the postseason.
But he was more clutch in situations. I don't expect Aaron Judge to be clutch in the postseason because that's just not who he is.
But then how do you explain last year?
But that doesn't mean he's a bad player, though.
How do you explain last year?
But 1 year doesn't just negate the 4 or 5. He was dreadful, Michael.
Well,
it's
dreadful.
not.
How about the home run against Clase?
But
was that a big hit?
He didn't do anything.
Well, how about the home run and the double that he had in Game 5 of the World Series when they were about to be eliminated?
We were already down 3-0, though. He could have helped in those games.
They were down 3-1 at that point in the 5th game.
It just doesn't negate everything else that happens because one time he came through. But I don't look at him as a bad player, though.
You do understand that baseball players make out. The best players in the world make out 6.5 times out of 10. Derek Jeter's batting average in the World Series was .300. That means he made in the postseason. That means he made out 7 out of 10 times.
But Derek Jeter was more clutch in situations where we needed him than Aaron Judge.
Let's forget about the postseason. His batting average, because people say even in the regular season he doesn't come through. His batting average, 7th inning on, in close games, 0, 1, or 2 runs. With runners in scoring positions, 345. How could you be more clutch than that?
But I'm talking about postseason and when it really matters.
Didn't win last year because of him, and you really think the Yankees lost the World Series to the Dodgers because of him?
I think 2
if
years
anything,
ago,
if you want to blame him, the drop ball in center field, which was an anomaly, but his hitting, I don't know that's not the reason they lost to the Dodgers.
Well,
they ran the bases awful.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you one question?
You can ask me anything.
Let's not say. I'm not saying if he was MVP, but if he was maybe at least half of the MVP Judge in the Dodger series, do you think we would have had a much better chance of winning the series?
Nestor Cortez still give up that home run to Freddie Freeman? No, they wouldn't have. Just like they didn't get to the World Series last year and he hit 600. So it's not all on one man. It's a series of incidents that happen. Do I think if he was an MVP in that? No, I don't. Because you know what? If you looked in that postseason, who was amazing? Even in the World Series, Juan Soto, who's also one of the great hitters we'll ever see. Did that help them get to the World Series? If you're going to run the bases dumb, if you're not going to make plays in the field, if you're going to bring in Nestor Cortez, who hadn't pitched in 2 months, and he gives up a walk-off grand slam, you're going to lose the World Series, even if Judge got a hit every single time he came up. You're cherry-picking, people. You're cherry-picking. You just are. And there's one other thing that everybody seems to forget. If he doesn't play the way he plays during the regular season, they don't even get to the postseason. Ever. Ever. Now, when you talk about individual players, let's go back to 2024 when they lost to the Dodgers. Who was better in that postseason than Giancarlo Stanton? So you just told me that if Judge had an MVP-level World Series or MVP-level postseason, they would have won the World Series. Who was better than Stanton? Who played at a higher than MVP level, and they still lost? One player does not dictate whether or not you lose. It was a series of missteps by the Yankees. Losing game 1 when they shouldn't have, losing game 5 when they were up 5-0, the Volpe play throwing to third, Judge dropping the fly ball, and Cole not running to first base to cover. Those are the things that led to the Yankees losing that World Series. Don't put it on Judge. And then I tell you, hit 600 last year against the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, and you say, well, that's just 1 year. Okay, but he was better than an MVP level, and it didn't impact them winning. One player can help. He cannot impact totally whether you win or lose. Because if that was the truth, the Yankees had 2 players that played like maniacs, Stanton and Soto, and they didn't win the World Series against the Dodgers. 2 players playing like maniacs. But when you make a bad pitching decision by bringing in Nestor Cortez and he makes a bad pitch, that set the World Series on its ear. Sorry. But again, everybody has that narrative. They want to crush Judge. Have a good time. Have a good time. In 650 postseason at-bats, we just looked this up, 650 postseason at-bats, Derek Jeter had 200 hits. So let's do the simple baseball for dummies math. That means in the postseason, Derek Jeter made out 450 times out of 600 at-bats. Do we think of him as not coming through? No. We think of him as the ultimate winner. You know why? Because he had Pettit, he had Jimmy Key, he had Roger Clemens, he had David Wells, he had Mariano Rivera. It takes a village. Nobody wins a World Series by themselves. In basketball, 2 great players can win you a championship. They can. Tom Brady lost 3 Super Bowls, by the way. Won 7, but he lost 3. Does that not make him the greatest of all time? And if he didn't have the team around him that he had, as great as he is, he would not have won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots and the one with Tampa Bay. If he didn't have Adam Vinatieri, he wouldn't have had a couple of those Super Bowls either. It takes a village. But for some reason, the ones that should be ashamed of themselves are the fans like Dylan, who sounds like a nice kid. Yankee fans don't appreciate what they're seeing. Yankee fans, it's in their face what this guy does every single year, doing things that have never been done before, and you're picking at scabs. So it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It really is. And nobody's saying he had a good game last night. He had a terrible game. And so did everybody else, except for Bryce Harper. Get ready, New York soccer fans. New York City FC is back at Yankee Stadium for a massive showdown against Inter Miami on Sunday, March 22nd, with kickoff set for 1 p.m. You don't want to miss this huge matchup. Be there when the boys in blue take the field against Miami. For your chance to be there in person, enter now at ESPNNewYork.com or through the ESPN New York app. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.com/NYCFC. All right, I'm going to come back with Mike Lupica because it's Wednesday, and that's when we talk to him. That's coming up next right here on the K Show, ESPN New York.
The NBA moves fast, and the stars move faster. With DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, you're never a step behind. DraftKings keeps pace with every play, offering industry-leading live betting, dynamic odds that shift as the game unfolds, and more open markets more often. They're live when others aren't, so you're always in the game when it matters most. Get in on the action with live player props as the most exciting performances unfold in real time. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WHSQ. That's code WHSQ. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problems gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply.
It feels like everyone's sick right now. You aren't imagining it. Doctors say this is the worst cold and flu season in 25 years, and it's not over. I was just traveling. It was like everyone around me was coughing, sneezing, and sick. I can't afford to get sick, and I doubt you can either. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. Having a medical emergency kit is like having urgent care and pharmacy right in your home. It includes essential prescriptions like generic Z-Pak to help you get well faster, plus important antibiotics to treat pneumonia, strep throat, sinus and ear infections, nausea, even UTIs, and many more common and serious illnesses. It's your kit the moment you need it. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's genius. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. I can save you $45 when you use my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. Again, save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Rings End is your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. They're your store for quality with a full line of brilliant and durable Benjamin Moore paints. They're your store for inspiration with thousands of colors and a variety of sheens. And Rings End is your store for expertise with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. Insist on Benjamin Moore paint from Rings End because the gorgeous color you love can't be matched in another brand of paint.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering 25% off windows and doors or 0% APR for 72 months. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends March 31st, 2026.
If you run a residential construction business, you're always looking for ways to boost profit margins. Between managing change orders, crews, billing, and timelines, it's easy to miss out on high-margin service work. That's where Service Titan comes in. It's the all-in-one software both for service and construction, giving you real-time visibility into project profitability and powerful membership templates that help drive recurring revenue. See how the most successful new build contractors in HVAC, plumbing, and other trades run their entire business on Service Titan. Visit ServiceTitan.com to learn more.
Welcome back to the show. It's Wednesday, 2:30. You know what I think about this guy, so I'll just introduce him as the legend. And that's Mike Lupica. He joins us every Wednesday at this point. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Michael. How are you?
I'm well. What did you think of the WBC? What did you think of last night's game?
I thought it was a great game. I thought the Dominican game was a great game, Michael. Here's my thing on games like that, deciding games. If the other team pitches better, you're screwed. It's like in hockey. If you run into a hot goalie, I don't know, like Canada did in the gold medal game, you're going to lose. And you're helpless against a more dominant pitching performance. And we've seen it across all times in baseball. We see it in other sports. And they didn't hit, and they lost. But how could you not be happy for Venezuela, Michael? I mean, what pure joy sports can sometimes bring, not just to the players, but to the athletes themselves.
No, I think it's amazing. I mean, to see them crying on the field. The thing that makes me a little uneasy, and I've never run this by you, I don't like wrapping sports in a flag and like preaching patriotism and bringing in SEAL Team 6 people. I mean, the only uniform that counts to me are the ones that's worn by the men and women of our military. They decide wins and losses. You don't represent me because you have USA on the chest. I don't believe it.
No, Michael, I completely agree, but I was still happy because of the peculiar circumstances of what is happening in Venezuela right now. That I was happy that whatever this did to bring joy to that country and to their fans, I was okay. I was okay with that. Yeah, the SEAL Team 6 stuff, Mike. I'm completely in line with you. I think it's a little dodgy. It's one thing for Michael Eruzione to go talk to the hockey players in Milan. That's one thing. Right. But no, sports is not war. It's never been war. And any time we over-politicize sports, we're heading down a rabbit hole that I don't think we want to head down.
All right, so it's been about 40 years now that you give me clarity when I'm in the clouds, okay?
Sure.
So the game is tied yesterday, all right?
Yeah.
After Harper's amazing home run, which was really clutch and thrilling. Yeah. And they bring in Garrett Whitlock, who's certainly not a slob. He's a great pitcher. But you have Mason Miller out there, who throws 103 miles an hour, and Mark DeRosa was told by the Padres, you can only bring him in a save situation. That's the only time. So once you're tied after 8, there is no save situation for the whole team. What does it matter, Mike, when they bring him in if they just use him for one inning? What does it matter? Please help me out.
Mike, it's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Like, if he had thrown pitches in a save situation, those would have counted on his arm. But if he had thrown them in a tie game, it's preposterous. And I would have told them, no, don't send him. If these are the rules, don't send him. Because by the time you get to that situation, Mike, you're in sudden death. You're basically in sudden death in that. You're as much as sudden death as you would be in a safe situation. And the idea that he could pitch, but only when they said he could pitch, shame on them.
And the same thing with Valencia. The Cubs said the same thing. The only way, and the Venezuelan manager had to fight back. They didn't want him to use him at all. He said, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Come on. And I guess they relented. But listen, I understand what the Cubs feel about this because, I mean, look at the Cubs. They might have lost Seiya Suzuki to a knee injury because of the WBC. Look at the Mets back in the last one with Edwin Diaz. Buck Showalter might have lost his last job because of that. The bottom line is you were at cross purposes, Mike. Baseball wants to grow the sport, and they've developed this unbelievably attractive thing, but it is at cross purposes to what you're trying to do in the regular season.
If they had said Mason Miller has pitched enough in this tournament, he's done, I would have respected that, Mike.
Absolutely.
I would have. But you can't say he's there, and if it's, God Almighty, if it's 3-2 and not 2-2, he can pitch. It's a ridiculous. It's just ridiculous for them to have suggested that. And I don't know what DeRosa could have done. at that point and done what the Venezuelan manager said, no, he can either pitch or he can't pitch.
Do you have a problem with Skubal's decision? There's so much on the line for him, so much on the line for the Tigers. He could make $50 million a year if he has another Cy Young, and then if he blows his arm out, what does it mean? I don't have a problem with what he did. Your thoughts?
No. It's Michael. It's a grand exhibition, but at the end of the day, it's an exhibition. Okay, and I'm wondering if down the road, okay, they might do it in season, and it'll be similar to the NHL basically shutting down during the Olympics for 2 weeks, okay,
Right.
and play the whole thing out. Skip the All-Star game, which I love, but come on, and do it that way. But no, Skubal, no. Oh my God, can you imagine if Skubal had done what Diaz did?
Oh,
staring at that kind of payday as arguably the best pitcher in the sport. No. I have no problems with what he did at all.
Now, some people are looking at Nolan McLean and say, oh, that wasn't that great. I watch this guy, and I get excited about how great he could be. Do you feel the same way about him?
Oh, God, I thought that was a great moment for him. Did he have his absolute top, middle-of-the-season best stuff? No, but I thought that was a gritty performance for a kid in what was the biggest game of his life last night. I thought he pitched swell. I was worried that he was going to get blown out, and it might damage him going forward into the season, especially off of what we saw from him over the second half of last year. Oh, no, I thought he was great last night, Mike.
Yeah, stuff is electric. We're talking with Mike Lupica of the New York Daily News, MLB.com, best-selling author right here on the Michael K. Show. Listen, I don't tell people what to think. I tell them what I think. And when players say that this is more important to them than a World Series, I have a hard time wrapping my big head around it. What are your thoughts?
Michael, it sounds stupid for anyone to suggest that a 2-week, or however long this thing lasted, spring training, glorified exhibition, as dramatic and wonderful as it was to watch. And again, Mike, I'll go back. The Dominican-U.S. game was wonderful. Last night was wonderful. It was a wonderful sports event that I found myself as engaged in as if it were something with the money on the table. But the money's not on the table, Michael. To even suggest that this is comparable to winning a title in your sport for your city, for your team, for your teammates, it's ridiculous. It's one thing for Judge to say that the atmosphere in the crowd for him was better than the World Series. I'm not even crazy about that particular statement, okay? But the idea that this is in any way comparable to that, no. Listen, what Jack Hughes did will live forever. And maybe he would tell you that it would be bigger for him than winning the Stanley Cup. But I even wonder about that.
I do wonder why, because, again, players feel the way they feel. Kike Hernandez said it's bigger than winning a World Series if Puerto Rico had won. Acuna, the same thing. So, you can't say that their opinions are wrong. Their opinions I don't agree with. But why is it that the players that are not from this country feel that it's bigger than a World Series? And I think that that's the case in hockey, too. I think Canadians still think the Stanley Cup is bigger, and probably people in the United States as well. Why is it the other countries feel that these exhibitions are bigger than the real thing?
I don't know, but I will tell you this, Michael, because you just touched on something that I think is significant. The Ryder Cup is clearly way bigger to the Europeans than it is to the Americans. Don't you think?
Yes.
I mean, there's a fellowship there. There's a camaraderie. And again, we saw it on Sunday this year when the United States team nearly came back from the dead. But there is something about it for other countries. It's why, I mean, maybe someday we will win the World Cup in soccer in this country, okay? But you can see around the world how incredibly important the World Cup is to other countries. And it's simply not the way here. And the only thing the way I can explain it, Michael, is there's just so much more going on here, okay? There's so much more going on. Like soccer, we don't have all our best athletes playing soccer in this country. We have them playing basketball, football, and baseball. And somehow it does get elevated in other countries. I'm not sure. Go ahead.
You mentioned the World Cup. I mean, there are guys that play for their clubs. They make $70 million a year, and the World Cup is bigger. So I can't understand it, but it is.
It would, again, I only can wonder what it would be like in this country if it ever happened. I don't know if it ever is going to happen, but it would be something to see because, all the beautiful game stuff, it's still not our saying. It's not our game. I mean, I remember when the World Cup first came to this country, Michael, and one of the slogans was 2 billion people can't be wrong about soccer. And I remember writing at the time, sure they can. At least that many people have seen Cats by now. So, what?
I like it. I'd never heard you use that line. I like it.
Yeah. But
it's true, too. I mean, just because something's popular doesn't mean it's good.
Well, Mike, how about the fact that even, in Miami, and I get what an incredibly cosmopolitan city Miami is, the crowds were so pro everybody we were playing,
right?
More than they were for the United States team.
All right, so for most of this show, I have spent, and I don't know why I have to do this, I have spent my time defending the greatness of Aaron Judge. He had a terrible game last night. And by the way, everybody on the American team did except for Bryce Harper. He was awful. He struck out 3 times. And just people want to embrace this narrative that it can't come through in the clutch, despite the fact he hit 600 in the postseason last year. I know he's had bad postseasons. I get it. But why do people want to hate this guy? Is it because he's great? And I can understand people that don't like the Yankees trying to pick at him. But why do Yankee fans want to pick at him?
Michael, it is unfathomable to me, okay? And I wish I had $1 for every time I have written in a column about Aaron Judge. You better take a step back and appreciate what this man has done over the last 4 or 5 years. Because guess what, Michael? We're never going to see anything quite like this ever again. There was never supposed to be another Babe Ruth in that uniform, and now here comes Babe Ruth. Here comes a guy who can hit 50 or more home runs 4 times, who can break Ruth's Yankee record and the American League record. And while doing it, he exhibits all of the old Yankee grace and class that we still want to exist, okay? And listen, we both had a front row seat to the entire show from Derek Jeter. And I understand why Jeter is elevated more than any other reason because of all those World Series. Judge has not done this. But the idea that he somehow fell on his face because he had a bad night against Venezuela in the middle of March in an exhibition, shut up. I mean, seriously, shut up. If you don't appreciate what this man, the entertainment and the joy he brings to you as a Yankee fan on a daily basis, year after year, then you're watching the wrong movie.
And we live in a yeah, but society, and people say, yeah, but he hasn't won a World Series. And I always come back with, if he doesn't have the regular seasons that he has, the 3 MVPs should be 4, they wouldn't get to the postseason. Doesn't that mean something? But it doesn't. And again, I understand people that don't like the Yankees, so they're going to pick at the Yankee star. But Yankee fans, Mike, I say shame on them that they're accentuating the negative with this guy, because they might not, in their life, if they're lucky enough they live to 100, they might not see a player like this again.
Michael, I say it all the time. I've told you this story before, and I'll repeat it today. I was sitting with Brian Leach one day when Wayne Gretzky had come to the Rangers at the end of his career. And I said to Brian Leach, you must consider yourself so lucky that you finally got to play with this guy. And Leach said, no. I'm just happy I lived at a time when I could watch this guy at his best. And that's what Yankee fans ought to feel about Aaron Judge.
Couldn't agree with you more. I just wonder if as a human race now, we just like to knock people off mountains. Maybe it's always been like that, but it seems much more prevalent now because of social media, and it gives everybody a voice. But they're not They're not happy with somebody being at the top of the mountain. They want to knock that person off. And that's what they're doing now with Judge.
Mike, it speaks to a frustration and an anger in the fan base about how long they've gone without winning the World Series. And there are people who you can point to who are big reasons why that has happened, but Aaron Judge isn't one of them.
Great stuff, Mike. Sounds like you're feeling a little bit better. Hope you're all the way back next Wednesday. We'll talk to you then.
Okay, pal. Bye-bye.
All right. That is Mike Lupica. Great stuff from him. I want to tell you to get ready for Pickleball Madness, or Rickleball Madness. What am I saying? This Friday, ESPN New York is taking over Pickleball Heaven in Medford, New York. Catch a live broadcast of DiPietro and Rothenberg starting at 6 a.m. Then stick around for a social ladder pickleball tournament. They'll crown the champions. Then I'll roll right into a college hoops watch party to cap off the day. The tournament is officially sold out, but the event is open to the public, so come down, enjoy the action, and be part of Rickleball Madness, brought to you by Pickleball Heaven, the new standard of indoor pickleball. All right, we're going to finish up with your phone calls. We go till 3. At that time, it's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everyone's account for the tournament. That's right. All you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. Use them on your bracket picks, money lines, spreads, totals, game props, or even same-game parlays. But don't wait. These bonus bets are only available for a limited time. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to learn more. 21 plus, physically present in New York. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with the gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Evan Cohen here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast, others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips, and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Start spreading the news. New York Yankees baseball is back in the Bronx. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Saturday, April 4th for a Yankee Stadium promotional giveaway tradition. Calendar night. The first 40,000 in attendance will receive a New York Yankees calendar courtesy of MasterCard. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, it's Yankees calendar night on Saturday, April 4th against the Miami Marlins. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
50 years from now, will jeans be wide or skinny? Will email still exist? Will guac still be extra? One thing is certain. If you won the new Millionaire for Life from the New Jersey Lottery today, you'd still be getting $1 million every year for life. That's enough money to say, bring it on, the future. I will have that guacamole at any price.
Play the new Millionaire for Life today. Anything can happen in Jersey. Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Harry Douglas here. I don't wait for birthdays to celebrate. I grab Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes like rich vanilla birthday cake with buttery funfetti goodness. Seriously, it's unapologetically extra in the best way. And it's sugar-free, so I get all that cake flavor without the guilt. It's tiny, portable, and ready for whenever I need a quick boost. I keep one with me because you never know when you'll need a little party energy. The funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
Empower.
After wanting one for years, Kevin is finally enjoying his new hot tub.
This is the life.
He worked with Empower to help him get good at money, so now he can be a little bad.
Oh, no, not my phone.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin's phone may be in hot water, but his finances aren't. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
NBA fans don't just watch the game, they live it. So stream like you're courtside with NBA League Pass, your ticket to all the action. Watch your favorite team shine and catch the league's brightest stars and rising stars at the same time with multi-view on your favorite devices. From the plays you can't believe to the most live games and the drama that comes with it. If it happens on the court, it's happening on NBA League Pass.
Only select out-of-market games available. Blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
It's unbelievable. Everybody seems sick. So there are 4 people in my household. My wife has a sinus infection. My daughter has a sinus infection. And my son has an ear infection. I'm the only one that's not on an antibiotic, but my luck's not that great, so we'll see. So you are not imagining that everybody seems sick right now. Doctors say this is the worst cold and flu season in 25 years, and it's not over. I was just traveling down to spring training. I was in Tampa, and it was like everyone around me was coughing, sneezing, and sick in some way or another. I can't afford to get sick, and I doubt you can either. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. This is great. Having a medical emergency kit is like having an urgent care and pharmacy right in your home. Now, here's what it is. It includes essential prescriptions like generic CPAC to help you get well faster, plus important antibiotics to treat pneumonia, strep throat, sinus and ear infections, nausea, even UTIs, and many more common and serious illnesses. It's in your kit the moment you need it. The moment. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no lines at the pharmacy, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook, or you can call their telemedicine doctor standing by. This is a game changer, people. Start on your meds and feel better faster. It's genius. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. So order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. I can save you personally $45 when you use my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. Again, save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. Game changer, I'm telling you. This is what you should have in the house. Sometimes it's hard to get to a doctor, hard to get an appointment, have to wait forever in an urgent care. Boom, you've got the stuff to get you better in this kit. Love it. Love it. Let's go to David on the east side. David.
Yeah, you made all the points I wanted to make on DeRosa, so instead I want to add to the conversation about Judge.
Okay.
If Team USA had beaten Venezuela on a Judge walk-off home run, the narrative from the haters would be, oh, this is just a glorified exhibition tournament. Judge still can't perform when it matters. They'd call him Mr. March. You can't win with these people, so I just ignore them.
You know what? You're probably right. It would have been framed in a different way that, this is just an exhibition. What does it matter? But now it means the world because he had 3 strikeouts yesterday. But again, if you look at his overall numbers in the WBC, where you essentially have to win almost every game, he had, if not the best, as good a numbers as anybody else on the team. Let's go to David in New Haven. David.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Good. So I have a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old, and all they're talking about with their friends on the Little League team, my son's older team, is the WBC, the upcoming season, their fantasy drafts. And then I got reminded today, how the heck is the sport going to shut down in a year from now? How?
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling to me.
I thought about it. I mean, it's riding high right now. The ratings that they're getting for an exhibition, we don't have the ratings for last night yet, but the Dominican Republic game was about 8 million over the Fox properties, and it's probably going to be more for last night's game. The ratings that they got for the World Series, which was a stupendous World Series. Listen, there's going to be a lockout, but you hope that they will come to some sort of an agreement before they lose games. December 1st is going to be a lockout. And I hope that both sides have enough common sense to not kill the golden goose. All right, we'll talk more about that coming up. Right now, Yankees and the Red Sox, 0-0 as they go to the 8th inning. Yankees have just one hit against the Red Sox. The big story, though, Garrett Cole made his first start of the spring. An inning, didn't allow a run, and threw 98.7 miles an hour on his fastest pitch. So he looks like he's going to be good to go after he gets his pitch count up to about 80, which should be, they're not going to rush him, but he'll probably be back sometime toward the end of May, and Rodon will be back sometime toward the end of April. Coming up, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. And in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Talk to you tomorrow at 1 p.m.
The NBA moves fast, and the stars move faster. With DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, you're never a step behind. DraftKings keeps pace with every play, offering industry-leading live betting, dynamic odds that shift as the game unfolds.